I was just thinking about how crazy it is that people fight over God, like who owns him. It kind of reminds me of that old joke where Saint Peter welcomes a guy who's just come into heaven, and he says, Saint Peter says, "Would you like me to show you around?" And so the guy says, "Sure." They start walking down this beautiful path with all these gardens around and everything. And St. Peter says, "Well, over here, this is where we keep the Jews, and over there's where we keep the Muslims, and over here is where we keep the Hindus, and there's the Baptists over there." And the guy says, "Wait a minute, what's this big wall back here?" And he says, "Quiet, that's where we keep the Catholics. They think they're the only ones here." Well, it's just a silly joke, but it's so interesting that here we are. We're all part of the same basic tree of life, and we have many branches. And all these different branches, they all have different kinds of flowers and different kinds of expression. And yet, we're all connected to that same source that we get our light from, our energy from. It made me think of that this morning because there's squirrels outside. So the squirrel comes climbing up the screen door, wants some food. I say, "Okay, honey," and I throw out a few pieces of walnuts. Well, he picks up a walnut, and another little squirrel comes running over. And the first guy says, "Hey," and I thought to myself, the conversation they're having between them. Well, the first squirrel says, "I'm the one who comes to the screen and gets the lady to open the door. But look how important I am that I did this." And yet, what I'm thinking, I don't care which squirrel comes to the door. I'm happy to feed him. And I think that's the way God is. I mean, God loves all of his children, all creation, life itself, the universe is all one big energy factory and shines all this love to everyone. And it doesn't matter who you are, he's glad to give it to everybody. So just like the little squirrely, though, people they say, "No, I'm the one that reaches God. I'm the one that has the secret formula to make her open the door." Isn't that funny?